Mist. It was always drizzling all day yesterday and all of last night. The day had been born out of the dark like a bluish smoke. It was the time of mist, and the lagoon was sleeping. Blurry, a sad aroma of silence emanated from it. The gray water, lost in the gray sky, was almost invisible. The waves sweetly caressed the shore as if it were being kissed. On the dark side of the lagoon, the world seems to end, suspended over a ditch of sadness. The fishing boat departed from the trees like the soft flutter of a live fish, like the soul of an old tree that departs from this world. The boat vanished like a fugitive in the foggy sky. The skinny wind of the pole sang and rose, weaving with the edge of the oar. A fisherman sang. His voice was flying in the golden fog, like a groggy bat that has just emerged from the dark. In the distance, dying echoes on the water were heard in the light that was being dissolved in the mist. A strange shape seems to wake up to the spell cast by the singing. Silver hips were dancing on the silent water, and blue hairs were floating in the breeze. In the margins that were vague sounds of mouths, sighs, kisses, and goggles that are open to blossom water as if all this witchcraft was awakened to become inebriated in the subtle morning. Letting loose the rope of his singing to the sweet waves of the trip, Calistro, the black man, was quiet, uniting his silence to that his friends, merging into a ball of sadness. They were traveling fast, rather than over water, they seemed to row over silence. Every other crest of the wave was breaking and sitting over the tip of the paddle, letting out the sound of its soft warble. It continued to steadily drizzle. They ceased rowing until they were almost motionless on the breadth of the sleeping water. The sun, amid the mist, was like the yellow heart of a cotton like flower. They cast their lines because of the circumstances. It was unknown whether they would catch a fish or a bird. By noon, it was raining ever harder and it was even colder. They had been fishing for 3 hours but had not caught enough. They heard a soft singing nearby and worried that it might be the goblin. Suddenly, a vague shadow emerged from the bottom of that beaten clarity and launched violently into the boat. The tone was heard as a dull blow on a Cayuco boat. The smashing was followed by the sounds, plop, 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 of three bodies being tipped into the water. In the tragic maelstrom, hands smacking the water, yelling and cursing were surrounding the sides of the fleet boat. Swim hard, Chero. We gotta get out. I'm swimming, man. What the hell came to fuck us up? Nearby, a voice was heard, quiet and orienting. You're swimming against the tide, sons. If you keep going, you will drown. Follow me. The rescuer gave them confidence, and paddling doggy style, they sucked the arm of the stranger who guided them, guided them until they were settled, panting on the mud of the shore. Blindly, they had to feel their way around through the bushes and lay to rest. Calistro, the black man, felt cramped from the coldness of the water. He wanted to ask who the stranger was and thank him, but his breath was stuck in his throat like a stopper and he could not speak. It finally stopped raining. A jumpy wind began to sweep the sky. The sun managed to project a golden glimmer onto the pond, like reeds in the gourd tree, and start to drink up the frothy barley of the haze. At 3 o'clock, they clearly saw the two black knees of the volcano nestle in the east. Looking onto the beach, the branches of the trees, like enormous dark sponges, appeared in the yard of the nearest shack. A cast-out net hung from a pole looked like a web of silence to catch flies of noise. Black Calistro and his partner looked curiously at the shabby man who had his dark and angular back turned towards them like an old stool. He had guided them safely straight to his shack. When the peasant turned to face them, bearded, dirty, and smiling, in unison an exclamation of astonishment broke from their lips. Señor Vicente, the blind man! That's me, sons. We, the blind, get around by using our instinct, an instinct more accurate than a compass of the doctors, which is said to always point towards the north.